All right, so let me just set y'all up real quick, right? So this all took place during the live stream that I had, and I was talking to at the tail end of the live stream. I was talking to some of the men there and the young men who just might happen to be watching, and I was telling them a few certain things that instead of focusing on women, you need to focus on yourself. You need to focus on building yourself, financial literacy, being financially stable, going out there and in a sense, building yourself mentally and physically, right? And making sure that you have all of your things right before, you decide to entertain the idea of being in a relationship. And then on top of that, right, while you're not chasing women and you're focusing on yourself, women are going and they're and they're and they're going to deem that as attractive, right? They're going to in a sense deem that as being worthy, and they're going to seek you out versus you trying to sit up there and do all of this, that, and the third, right? Trying to go out there and get them. So at a point in the conversation, you will happen to see that a woman decided to interject herself directly into the conversation for whatever reason, right? So you'll see that there, and I'm also going to touch on that towards the end of the video as well.
Right. The main thing that does take place, and just like how a few of the men here are basically talking about this exact same thing, this is something that is like a normalcy, I say, at least when it comes to, because I can't speak for the white community and all these other community, because I don't date those women, right? But this is more so dealing with the black community and dealing with black women, right? If it comes to a point in time where you happen to turn down a black woman's like advances, or you might not want to date her or seek a relationship with her or different things like that, there are a lot of times where guys will be called gay, right? And they will use that terminology in order to basically hit that guy in a certain type of way, because they're like, you're trying to turn me down, you should be lucky to be with me. If obviously there must be something wrong with you. And no, the same ones who want to deliberately call, because these black men have turned down their advances, they want to refer to these men as gay. They are the same exact ones that are quote unquote for the LGBT. So you can't say that you're for the LGBT if you're in a sense calling straight men gay as a negative, right? Just saying. I'm just trying to insert some logic in here, because it does not make sense. It does not compute. You can't say that you're for something and you're positively for something, but you use that same something that you're for as a negative when it comes to somebody in a sense declining your advancements or them wanting to be in a relationship with you. Like, I've heard stuff like that ever since I was younger in school. And I'm like, all right, whatever it is, it is what it is. It's like, fine. Like I said, I'm not going to sit up there and argue with you about nothing. You're one out of how many billions of women that are directly out here? You ain't nothing special. And like I said, for the black men out there, that's how you got to start teaching and raising these young dudes out here. You got to start making them realize that it's numbers, it's levels to this. Yes, women are very beautiful. Yes, women are very precious. But there are more women out here than there are men. Let's just put the facts where they are. There are more women out here than there are men. So realistically, the ball is actually in the man's court. So at any point in time, as a young man or whatever it is, you just so happen to sit up there and get turned down, it's no reason to sit up there and get angry. No reason to sit up there and disrespect the woman and all this other type of stuff. Like I said, words are words. At the end of the day, let it be that. And just remember, it's the numbers game. It is clear cut the numbers game at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, she's going to be the one that's going to end up losing, because she might have potentially lost out on a very great guy that would have actually been very beneficial for her in life. So now, because she lost out on that, she has to now go through her life tracking through the desert, trying to sit up there and find that oasis in the desert. And it's like, good luck, because all that is a mirage. Good luck. It's your mind playing tricks on you. It's the heat and everything else. It's the atmosphere playing games on you, playing minds, games on your mind, right? I'm getting my words mixed up right now. So, like I said, this is why I've stated before, for a lot of men and a lot of young men out here, so much don't even really focus on, like the women don't even focus on, the young girls out here, focus on building yourself up, gaining financial literacy, focus on having 1 to 2, bank accounts, focus on getting your credit up, focus on getting your house, focus on getting your education. Because at the end of the day, by the time you get all that done, let's say you work on that by, from like 18 to 25 or from 18 to 30, you're going to be well off versus most guys. And then that's going to automatically prop you up without you having to say nothing, because the women are going to be looking, it's like, oh, he got his credit in order. He got his finances in order. He got such and such amount of money. He's taking vacations. He doesn't have to sit up there and do a 9 to 5, or he's just working because he's bored. It's like automatically women are going to be attracted to that, and they're automatically going to be flocking to that. So, like I said, I just wish that, a lot of black men and a lot of young men would basically focus on getting that, in order before really being fixated and focused on women. Because 9 times out of 10, when you focus on women, you're going to end up losing in the end. They're going to gain. You're going to be taking them out on dates, right? Spending money directly on them, getting them expensive gifts, taking them on vacations and all this other type of stuff. Like I said, you're doing all of this for free initially. And this is before you guys are even doing anything. You're doing all of this for free, and you're going to be the one that's going to lose in the end. Because after she's done with you, she's going to go on to the next guy and do the exact same thing over and over and over again. Get a whole bunch of free gifts, get a whole bunch of free dates and dinners, get a whole bunch of free vacations. It's the same thing. So like I said before, and that's basically, in a sense, even though the guy chose, in that instance, the guy chose that woman, realistically, the woman is choosing that guy or choosing those guys, right? Because those same women that are able to do that to normal guys, they can't do that to a guy with money, because he's just like, oh, I see what you're about. Let me cut you off, like right here. We're not even doing this. Let me cut you off right here. Like I said, guys who, have worked on themselves enough, and they can quickly spot a lot of stuff. They're not, in a sense, going to fall for a lot of the stuff that you normally see a lot of the women basically, trying to do, aka scam. In a sense, like I said, the main thing I try to tell guys as well is that, people have to, in a sense, earn stuff. If respect and love, in a sense, have to be earned, or it takes time to get there, that should be, in a sense, everything else as well. Like, if you're 100% just like giving stuff for like free, and the woman doesn't have to work for it, trust and believe that woman is not going to sit up there and respect you. I'm just going to be 100% honest. She is not going to sit up there and respect you at all. Because notice, in every single relationship, the man always has to sit up there and work for something. Women have to work for zero. Have to work for zero. Just sit there, look pretty. That's it. And I'm like, like I said, if that works for some guys out here, so be it. It is what it is. But yeah, that's crazy. That sounds crazy. If I got to sit up there and work my butt off in order to basically prove, I've already technically proven stuff to myself, right? And I've, in a sense, proven stuff to the world. But you mean to tell me I got to sit up there beyond everything else that I've already done? Now I have to clean off the field, and I have to now reprove myself to you. I'm like, all right, no problem. But what are you going to be proving? Right? Like I said, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Guys need to sit up there and choose very wisely the types of women that they decide that they want to deal with at the end of the day. because the only person that's going to sit up there and end up taking an L, it's not going to be the woman, because she's going to have a multitude of choices. It's always going to be the guy. The guy is always, in a sense, going to be in that losing situation, unless the guy has actually worked on himself enough, in a sense, gotten that financial literacy. He's working on his money. He's financially stable. He has, the stuff that he wants, his residencies and all these other types of things. When you're at that point, you're not taking no L's, because there's always going to be women that will acknowledge the hard work and dedication that you've done in order to make it to where you've gotten to at that moment in time. So at that point in time, when you get there, the people that's going to be taking those L's are the women, because it's going to be a loss on them, because now they got to sit up there and try to find a guy that can match up or do better than what you were doing. And that's going to be few, far, and in between. Few, far, and in between, because there's not a lot of women out here that can sit up there and say, oh yeah, I've dated, a guy that, I've dated several guys that make hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, or billions. It's trust me, there's not a lot of women that can sit up there and utter those words in conversations consistently. It's not. So, like I said, guys, get it together. Get it together. Hard Talk Radio said, yep, it's a two-way street. That is bars. That is bars. That is straight bars. Let me just put that up there real quick. Still said, notice how when it comes to black men, women have a list. And before, just in case anybody wants to get mad, Still said women. He didn't say black women. He just said women in general. So nobody should be triggered because he didn't list an ethnicity in here, right? So he said, notice how when it comes to black men, women have this whole list of what you must fulfill, but we are told we must take them as they are. And that's true. I've heard that on a multitude of cases. I've heard women basically tell me, it's like, yo, I expect you to do this. You should be able to do this for me. You should have this. I shouldn't have to do this, and all these other types of things. And then the woman is like, well, I'm not going to do anything. I'm fine the way I am. I'm the prize. You have to work in order to get me. You have to prove yourself to me. You're going to take me as I am. I don't have to sit up there and work on nothing. I'm not changing for no man. And I'm like, huh? I'm like, you're not changing. So you mean to tell me that if you are disorderly, you don't have no type of direction, you can't be, in a sense, like encouraged or anything like that. You're telling me that you're not even going to try to like evolve for the person to in a sense, like I'll put it to you like this, right? The main thing I've told people is that, in a sense, that you shouldn't directly, in a sense, change for a person, right? I mean, it's beneficial, right? But you should realistically want to change for you. Because at the end of the day, no matter what happens with a relationship or whatever it is, you are going to be the one that's going to benefit from that change positively, right? So you'll want to sit up there and change for you. But if you have a person basically saying that I'm not going to change for nobody, I'm not going to change for no man, that's an L right there. That is what it is. If you have guys that are willing to sit up there, I'll put it to you like this in a different perspective. Whenever guys get into a relationship, guys will morph or transition, in a sense, into the types of men that women want, right? That's what guys do. Now, some guys, they'll be like, yo, this is the type of guy that I am. This is what you get, right? No problem. When it comes to other guys, like, all right, so she says that she likes this, and this. It's like, all right, I can at least meet out of that 5. I might be able to hit about 3 to 4 of those notes. So I sit up there, let me sit up there and do some work around and different things like that, right? So a guy is willing to sit up there and change and do whatever it takes in order to get that woman. But due to the fact that that's never been a requirement, this is why you have a lot of women sitting up here saying, I'm not changing for no guy. Because a lot of women out here have been made to think or feel that as they are is basically the best version of them, when realistically it is not. If the universe is consistently evolving, if nature is consistently evolving, if a lot of these other things are in a sense transpiring, then realistically people should do the exact same things as well. Hold on, give me 1 second. All right. But yeah, that's pretty much the problem at this moment in time, right? When it comes to dating, when it comes to society and different things like that. Like I said, it's a problem, but a lot of people don't want to look at that as a problem. They just want to look at it as like, oh, you know, it is what it is. You can either take it or leave it. And like I sit up there and tell guys, it is numbers out here. It is clear cut numbers. Play the numbers game. I'm not saying you got to be great at lottery, but if you're not great at lottery, like I said, get good at counting cards. Because a lot of people that are good at counting cards, they sit up there and get thrown directly, you know, out of the casino. But before that happens, they win millions of dollars. So, like I said, get good at counting. Get good at sitting up there reading, doing something. You know, that's the best. You know, in the sense, you know. Let me see. Black Sparrow said, you will take several L's yourself if you think you'll get a quality woman just because of your income. What you're going to attract is a slew of gold diggers. All I hear is bad advice and flawed logic. No, actually, you're not listening. Hold on. Let me just correct you real quick. Let me just correct you. I stated within there, I stated that if the guy is basically showing that he is financially stable. Do you know what? I'm not sure if you know what financially stable is. I clearly stated that at least 2 to 3 times. That's the whole reason I said, like, yo, guys, get yourself together. Financial literacy. Have, you know, 2 bank accounts. You know, be able to do the things that you want to do. You know, get the houses or the residencies, you know, that you want. Work on yourself. But you're saying that my advice is basically flawed. I mean, you're a woman. So at the point in time, you looking at it from a woman's perspective, it's going to seem flawed to you because you are not a man. You don't sit up there and walk through this. You don't live through this. So you don't really have an understanding of this. You get to sit up there and sit pretty on the park bench while all the guys walk by and try to sit up there and ask you for your name and your number. You don't have to work for nothing. So of course it's going to be flawed logic. If I'm telling guys like, yo, focus on yourself. Don't go out here focusing on these young girls. Don't go out here focusing on these women out here. Focus on you, and the women will basically follow. When women sit up there and see that you're willing to work on yourself and build yourself up, that's going to be more attractive to women. But you're telling me that that's flawed logic. Okay. I guess that's where we're at this moment in time. My logic is flawed, and your logic is what? Like I said, that's crazy. That is 1,000% crazy. Lord have mercy. Like I said, and this is what I sit up there and try to tell guys. The moment in time that as a man, if I try to basically speak a little bit to men and I try to tell them a little bit of something, this is what happens. You'll start having a woman like her roll up to the scene for clear cut, no reason. This kind, like I said, the conversation has zero to sit up there and do with her, but she had to sit up there and let herself be known. She wanted to put her opinion on a men's topic and let it be known that, yo, you as a guy, you don't know what it is that you're talking about, and I'm a woman. I'm telling you, as a woman, you don't know what you're talking about as a guy. Okay, shit. This is the first time I've ever seen this before. Jesus Christ. Lord. Like I said, hey, it is what it is directly out here at this moment in time. Now, what I will do is off of that comment, said you will sit up there and end the stream on that one so people can, you know, just take some time. Just take some time. and just think about it. But brother, about to go get some food and upload, another video or so. So much love and appreciation, and thank you to all 57 people who showed up here to stay and to listening to my rants and my raves, and all of my glitches, in my speech. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys next time on the next live stream. So peace, love, and stay tuned for the next live stream.
So let's go over the comments that Black Sparrow Sweetwater left, right? The first comment that she left was, you will take several L's yourself if you think you'll get a quality woman just because of your income. What you are attracting is a slew of gold diggers. All I hear is bad advice and flawed logic. Now, as you were clearly able to see, I went over it quite a few times, basically saying like, yo, young men and men in general, do not sit up here, right, and go out here and focus on women. What did I say? Build yourself up first. Gain financial literacy. In a sense, that means, go out there and educate yourself, learn more about money, learn about stocks, learn about trading, learn about investing, learn about saving and different things like that, so that you don't recklessly get money and then it's going right back out. Right? You get money in one hand and then you spend it with the other. You don't want to sit up there and do that, right? Have two bank accounts, right? So one that you will use and then the other one that you're seriously just like, all right, let me just like throw stuff from the active bank account and let me just, save it into the other one, right? And then I stated, again, focus on yourself. Don't go out here chasing these little girls. Don't go out here chasing these women, because women will sit up there. They're more attracted to guys, right, who are not paying attention to them at the end of the day. And that's just facts. Like I said before, women are attracted to who? Celebrities. They're attracted to celebrity men. Why? Because they're not getting the attention from those guys. If they were actually getting the attention that they wanted from those celebrity men, they would get bored and they will move on to somebody else who is not paying them any type of attention. It just is what it is at this moment in time, right? So she's saying from a woman's perspective, right? Because she can't talk as a man, because I'm a man speaking to young men and men, right? She's telling me, right, as a woman, that my logic as a man talking to other men is completely bad advice and flawed logic. Okay, I guess, right? And like I said before, I took out the opportunity for probably about close to 20 minutes to just solely let me talk to the young men out here. Let me talk to the men. She decided as a woman that she wanted to step into this realm and let it be known that she is here and how she feels, right, about what is being stated, right, which clearly has nothing to do with her at all. Clearly has zero to do with her at all. And then these were the ones that she left after pretty much the stream was done, right? She said, focus on you. Clearly, I stated that for 20 plus minutes, right? Everything isn't about money, but there are way too many women making their own money who want more than money from a man. Nobody was talking about what women are doing. Nobody was talking about what women are making. Guys don't care. I'm going to sit up here and tell you at the end of the day, for any women out there, for any of you guys that basically made it this far, guys realistically don't care what you're making. Of course, it's nice that you're able to support yourself and different things of that nature. Like a case in point, me as an example, I don't care what you make. I don't care what degrees you have. All of the money that you have and all of the degrees that you have, that's validation for you. You're the one that's supposed to validate that. That's not for me. You didn't sit up there and do that in order for me to validate it, because if I validate it, now it's seemed or deemed as important. We're not in the same lanes. Like I said before, I do stuff, men do stuff in a sense for themselves. Like, yeah, we know it's going to sit up there and attract women, but at the end of the day, we're going to do stuff that's going to sit up there and make us happy. I'm not going to sit up there and get a PhD in psychology or whatever it is because I think that a woman is going to appreciate this. I think that this is going to attract more women. I think that a woman is going to... That doesn't make any sense. I'm going to sit up there and get a degree or get a job in something that I love doing, something that I worked hard to sit up there and do. I'm not going to sit up there and do it because I potentially think that this degree or this college is going to sit up there and attract more women my way. No, that, like I said, that's not how guys work. That's not how guys work. So, like I said, realistically, guys do not care about your money. If guys have money, they're not going to sit up there and care about your money. If you're sitting up here dealing with bums, yeah, they're going to sit up there and care about your money. So, like I said before, if you're dealing with bums and this is the angle that you're coming from, you might want to sit up there and fix that. If you're dealing with guys who are well off and already got money, your money is not even a conversation. Let's just get that straight. A guy is not going to want to hear any of that because he's not going to sit up there and care. He's not going to care because it does not matter to him, because it has nothing to do with his being and, of course, him being a guy. Right? So last but not least, this is what she left directly in the comment section underneath the live stream video, right? She said, dude ran at the end after twisting my comment. Let's be clear. Now, let me just correct you on that. Black Sparrow, Sweetwater, just in case you happen to make it this far, you happen to see this video. Seiji does not run on his platform. This is my platform. I created this platform from the ground up. You came here. I didn't come to you. You wanted to have a conversation and you wanted to bring some things up that clearly had nothing to do with you. You wanted to put your input in your whatever knowledge base you feel that you have as a woman. You wanted to interject that into a man's conversation talking to other men. Like I said before, this is when people don't know spots in life. This is when people can't properly play their squares. This is what happens when people think that they can play the whole board, but you're only meant to play one side. Like I said, this is what clear cut it looks like. Where you have a woman telling me I ran, when if you do your research, I don't tend to do long live streams like I used to. I used to do 15 and 22-hour live streams. So please, you're nobody. I don't even know who you are. You're nobody that I'm like, oh yeah, let me run from this person. They're really sitting up there putting me on place. They're really sitting up there giving me a challenge. No, like I said before, at the end, I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to leave everybody off on that. And while everybody's pondering that, let me go sit up there and do some stuff for myself. Let me go get some food. Let me put up some more, a video or two, whatever it is, directly on here. Let me go sit up here and relax and play some games. That's what I do on an everyday basis. Like I said, you're not even a factor when it comes to me ending streams. Just going to get that there. And then number 2, you said that I decided to twist your comments when clearly I have all of your comments directly up there. And I also have the unedited part of where you came directly through to the live stream and how I responded. I ain't twist nothing. So she said, let's be clear, women and men should be working on themselves, building and improving their foundation and healing past traumas. No problem. I completely agree with that. I've talked about that a great deal of many's of times, and more so specifically when it came to videos dealing with men, and specifically when it came to videos dealing with women, and then more so specifically putting both of those together and both talking to men and women. Let's continue. Women do not just sit around and look pretty and wait for a man. Women are making their own money. This is not the 1800s do. Okay, so this is where people start getting offended in their feelings. That's exactly what that statement is, right? So what I said in my example is that women don't, in a sense, have to work for a man's attention, right? Because universally, that's just what it is. Women are, given the gift of beauty. Right? Just like flowers in nature is given the gift of beauty. That's the same thing with women. So women don't have to sit up there and work for a man's attention. If there's a woman out here literally saying like, yeah, I got to do so much in order to get a man's attention, that's a lie. That is a straight lie. Either your energy is vastly jacked, or it's, like I said, I don't know what. Because I have seen a variety of women out here who might not get the attention that they want, but in other circumstances, they do get that attention. So let's not sit up here and play games directly out here. My example is this. If a woman basically goes and sits on a park bench, she's basically dressed at her best, there are going to be men that are going to notice her. There are going to be some of those men, out of those men that notice her, there are going to be some men that will have the ability, was like, you know what, and the confidence, be like, you know what, let me sit up there and shoot my shot. Let me come directly to her. Let me know what I'm about. Let her know my name. And, see if, I can get marked on the list as a possible selection. right? Now let's do vice versa. If a dude that's in a suit, sitting up there looking great, best of the best, right? He's sitting there in a suit. Women ain't about to be sitting up there just tripping over themselves trying to like go to that dude. Like I said, they're not going to do that. They're going to, what women are going to do, they're going to walk past several times so that you notice them, right? And then once a few of those occasions happen and maybe a few other things, then maybe a slight chance, then maybe she might come and talk to you. But realistically, she's going to walk past several times and expect you to notice her and still come to her at the end of the day. Like I said, let's not play games. Let's not make it seem like the game has changed and all these other things. No, it's still the same. Women still expect men to come up to them no matter the circumstances, right? So let's just get that clear, right? Most women have higher standards because if we need to, we don't have an issue providing for ourselves. That doesn't mean we are bullheaded and uncompromising. If you're talking to a woman who is aggressively telling you she's unwilling to change anything about herself to make a relationship work, she doesn't effing like you, dude, move on. And I agree with that as well. But this is why I sat up there and told men just focus on themselves. Like I said, the women that are willing to, in a sense, evolve and different things of that nature in order for the betterment of the relationship, they're going to sit up there and do that. Other women are going to be like, nah, I'm fine exactly how I am. I don't need to change for no man. I'm not changing for nobody but myself. And 9 times out of 10, women aren't going to change for themselves because they feel at the end of the day that they are fine just the way that they are. So you see how those mind games, in a sense, works. So, like I said, I don't know exactly what it is that you decided that you felt that I twisted. I didn't twist anything at all. I went with your very first response that you gave directly on stream. Anything else after that was directly after that conversation when I clear cut stated that, hey, well, I'm going to end it on that note. And I'm just going to decide to get some food and different things of that nature. Like I said, at the end of the day, just like the title is saying, but I was talking to black men and not you, meaning that I was talking to black men in general and young black men. I wasn't sitting up there talking to women. So like I said before, there comes a certain point in time where people need to, in a sense, keep certain comments directly to themselves. I don't go to a woman's platform and I'm trying to basically speak on a topic dealing with women, and then I'm going to sit up there and tell women like, oh, you're 100% wrong on the advice that you're giving to other women. I'm a guy, so you're wrong. That don't make any sense. I would look completely foolish if I decided to do something like that. I don't do anything like that because, like I said, if a woman has a space and that's how she wants to talk or direct certain things towards women, fine, so be it. Go sit up there and do that. I don't have to sit up there and be there for that. I don't have to pay attention to that, and I don't. I make my own space and I pay attention and focus on the things that I clearly want to sit up there and focus on. So at the end of the day, if people want to pay attention to the things that I'm saying, they're more than welcome to basically come here and listen, just like you decided out of all of the other places in YouTube to go that you could freely sit up there and talk on a variety of things. You decided to specifically come here during that moment and you wanted to sit up there and speak. You didn't speak at any other time. You decided to speak on this topic when I was speaking specifically to young black men and to black men in general, when I tell them to basically focus on themselves and stop chasing these little girls out here and stop chasing women. So I'm pretty sure after explaining all of that, I didn't get anything misconstrued. I didn't get anything incorrect. I didn't. So there you go.